Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited for today's training, all about the three simple things, the three simple steps to manifest more without the force, the stress, and the struggle. Okay, so this has been a massive game changer in my life, in my business, in my relationships, and literally everything changed when I started to really focus on these three things that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So as you're hopping on, say hi, let me know in the comments that you're here and where you're watching from. If you're catching the replay later, comment replay, say hi, and interact, share as you go, ask your questions, let me know if it resonates. Even if you're catching the replay, I always check back in on these comments and would love to know what you're connecting with. So as we get started here, as we're waiting for a few more people to hop on, I'm curious how many of you have used manifestation in your business before. How many of you are familiar with the power of energetics in catapulting, in scaling, in really stepping into that next level version of yourself, your business, your impact? Let me know if you've already tried this out, if you're already using manifestation, or let me know in the comments as well if you've never really done it or you're not sure how, because this is going to be very eye-opening, very supportive, and transformative for you. So also, as we get started here, I'm dropping a link in the comments down below. So if you are someone who wants to know how to do this and really is like, I'm committed, I'm serious, I want to start doing this now, show me the way, book in a clarity call. I've opened up some spots in my calendar. I would love to chat with you and love to see how I can support you, and we can create an action plan to help you start manifesting, start really creating the business and the impact that you always dreamed of. So with that said, I want to share a really, really powerful story of my own manifestation that happened last year in my business. And it's happened again this year as I went through this process again. But there's still a few things that I don't want to share publicly yet until it's like fully announced. So I'm keeping that quiet for this year. But the manifestations are powerful. It's really powerful. And I use these three simple steps every single time, like repeat that process to allow me to really tap in and manifest and scale, shift, grow, evolve my business from a place of ease. Because I don't know about you, especially the first few years of my business, I was very much in the force and the hustle. As I said, I was very much in the masculine energy of what I thought business was and what I thought it had to be. Now, the beautiful thing is that as we tap more into that feminine side, that energetic side, we have the ability to really start to manifest even more without the stress, without the struggle, without the force. So the example I wanted to share with you is like one of the most powerful things happened last year when I did this exact three steps that I'm going to share in a minute. And I did these three steps and I went from, I had made some really big investments in my business that didn't pay off. I was really stressed and struggling and overwhelmed. And because of that fear, that overwhelm, I was forcing things, right? I was really trying to make things happen. And I made things worse from that state. I caused more fear, more panic. And I hit this breaking point where I thought, okay, obviously what I'm doing isn't working. So let me really reconnect to my energetic understanding. Let me reconnect to the manifestation, to the quantum work that I do, and start using this in my business. And the results were like insane. Okay, so within weeks of doing these three steps, I attracted in my first celebrity client, which was something I had on my bucket list, on my vision board for a long time. And out of nowhere, she saw a Facebook ad and reached out and booked a call, and we hit it off. Like amazing. It was like we knew each other. And soon after that, not too soon after that, we started working together. And what happened is then she said, hey, there's this really cool opportunity in LA. Do you want to come down to LA? So I moved to LA, spent 9 months there last year, was living in this beautiful community home with influencers, thought leaders, people who were doing amazingly inspirational work in the world and trying to help in the sustainability front, in the spirituality, in like self-love and compassion and empowerment. And so I got to shift my whole life, my whole reality shifted from doing these 3 steps, and everything in my business changed as well. The ease was there, getting into that next level version of me. So I'd love for you, as you're watching this, let me know in the comments, and I'll leave a couple seconds here for you to do that. Let me know what the next level of your business or your life looks like for you. So what is it that you're currently manifesting? Because before I get into these 3 steps to help you do that, I'd love to know what it is that you're working towards and aligning with, right? So share it down below. I'll drink tea quick. Because I know you're all manifesting something, or you wouldn't be watching this. So what is it that you're desiring? What is it that you're calling in? So for me last year, that looked like I was really set on, you know what? I know I'm here to help on a massive scale. And I've been so caught in the force and the desperation and the fear, the trying to make it happen, that I was staying stuck. And I was really in just like that reality, right? So when I did these 3 steps, as I said, everything opened up. I attracted in the client, I attracted in the opportunities, I attracted in the expansion in my business, all these different things that I was hoping for. All of a sudden, the networking, everything was like this beautiful spider web or something. It just all opened up for me, okay? So if you haven't written your comment, keep writing. I want to see some answers. I want to hold space for this manifestation, okay? There's so much power in like being clear on what you want. And anyway, the other thing too quickly is, if this is something you're wanting to do fast, you're wanting to do this now, and you want to know even more on how to do that, book in a clarity call with me. I'd love to chat, and I'd love to hear exactly what it is you're working on and help you set up an action plan for success so you can really do this with ease. Because I'm done with the hustle, I'm done with the force, I'm done with the struggle, and like it has to be hard. We don't have to make these things happen, right? We get to align, we get to bring them in. So to help others with energy work and finding my ideal client, those are beautiful manifestations, okay? So getting into the 3 steps here that have absolutely changed my life. Blockages, karmic ties, I love that. Yes, I can see you doing that, Sarah. That's beautiful. That's going to be so powerful, and the world needs it. So let's get you manifesting that, right? Let's get you embodying and creating that reality. So the 3 steps that I personally go through all the time when I'm manifesting these things, and that I teach to my clients, is step number 1 is to release, right? We need to look at the things that are keeping us from that. So in a sense, that could be actually blockages and karmic ties. That could be more of the mindset, gremlins, the limiting beliefs, the doubts, the feelings like we're not enough, right? It could be physical blocks and barriers, like money in a sense, or limitations with our career or with our current environment in terms of friends, family, partners. What are the limits? What are the things that are kind of holding us back, keeping us in our old self? Because those are the things that we need to release in order to step into who it is we want to be. The version of you who already has all that you want, the version of you who has the manifestation fulfilled, what do they look like? They're very different than probably who you currently are, right? So in order to get there, we really need to focus on the deep releasing. And that's step number 1. That's like one of my jams, my biggest passions is that releasing work, because it's so easy to not realize how much we're holding on to and how much is showing up and translating into our life. So that's number 1. Step number 2 is the reprogramming. Okay, so you release and then you reprogram. Because let me know in the comments, how many of you feel like you were programmed for success? Like, does your subconscious believe in your ability to succeed? Does it believe you are worthy? Or did you grow up with a lot of struggles, and did you grow up believing like you had to prove something or like you weren't enough? You can drop a 1 if you grew up believing in success, or drop a 2 if you grew up kind of in more of a lack and a struggle programming, right? The reprogramming is so important because we don't, again, this is something that we just think is normal, like, oh, that's just how it is, or that's just who I am, that's just what I think. But in reality, it was all a program that we were taught and that we absorbed, and then we believed it to be true. So there we go, some 2s. Yeah, your current self is probably still operating on some of the old programming. So it's through the reprogramming process that we can now elevate and again step into that next version. And that brings into step number 3 here, which is realigning. So you release. We got to clear out the old to make room for the new. We've got to clear out the blocks. And these again are mental, physical, emotional, spiritual / energetic blocks, right? All of those play a role in how we show up, how we see ourselves. Then the reprogramming. What is it that you want to believe? What is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to think, act, be? What would you be showing up like? We need to reprogram you into that version of yourself. My old version of myself was programmed for lack and struggle. I believed it had to be really hard. And so I was living that out. I was perpetuating that. I was forcing decisions from fear, trying to make it happen. And as I shared in that story at the beginning, it failed miserably. It got me in a really bad place where then I felt like, wow, okay, this really isn't working. So I'm going to take the step back. I'm going to do the releasing. I'm going to reprogram. What would the beliefs need to look like? What would the energy need to be? Right? And as I did that, that brought me into step 3, the realigning. Realigning with my next level self, realigning with the higher self, or the version of me who's already manifested all of these things. That's the process, right? Because your current, what is it that Einstein, I think it was Einstein said, like, you can't solve a problem from the same state. You can't solve anything from the same place, the same state of consciousness that created the problem, right? If we're still operating from the problem, we can't solve it. We need to elevate. We need to get above it. And then that's where all of a sudden it becomes clear. All of a sudden the path opens up. All of a sudden our energetic channels allow these things to come through. And this is what I focus on. This is what I do. So in that 3-step process, that's what allowed me to manifest the celebrity clients, the connections, the massive networking, the move to LA, the steady. My business went from like inconsistent, maybe 2 to 5K months, and that brought me into 5 to 10K months, where all of a sudden, just by doing this inner work, I was able to scale, shift, elevate into a next level. And so it really, really always comes back, in my personal opinion, it always comes back to that inner work, because the inner world translates out to create the outer world. Okay, so let me know if this is making sense. Give this video a heart if you're enjoying it, if you're connecting with everything I'm sharing here. And yeah, before I hop off here, I just want to share one more time, there's that link in the comments for a clarity call if you are ready to really elevate and really step into the next version of yourself, to manifest the business, the impact, the income that you desire, and to do it without the stress, without the struggle, without the force, without that desperation that I know I was in for the first couple years of my business. If you want to skip that and do this in a much easier way, the energy work and the subconscious reprogramming is the place to do it, and I'd love to support you with that. So there's a link down below to book in a time with me, and then there's going to be an application form to fill out, and those answers are so important, because then when we get on those 30 minutes, I already have an idea of what's going on and where you're looking for support, where you've maybe been struggling. We can dive straight in to the meat and like the action plan of how to get you there. Okay, so That link is down below, and I look forward to chatting with you. And I will see you again tomorrow for another training. I'm going to hop on again, and I have some more exciting things to share. So thank you so much for watching. I'm grateful that you're here, and see you tomorrow. Hope this was helpful.